This is an update on the silicon graphite power cell, and I've made some really great improvements, so I'm going to show you that. Back here is the demonstrator that you saw in the first video, and it has one of the original cells, which are also in the E-cube here I'll go into in just a second. But it's into its third month of running, so the cell works really good, even though I've made some even better improvements on it, which we'll cover. Over here is the E-cube. I'm not going to go into it now. I've taken off, you can see where the handle is here. This is probably what we're going to be offering to the general public. You can see in the back side here that I've taken off. You just see the spacers here, but there's about 3 or 4 more panels that go on here, and this is the midpoint of the cube itself. I guarantee it's going to do more than charge a cell phone or two in a day's time. So this is no monkey business here. It's going to be the real deal. And we'll go into this. Today I've got, turn on my computer here, I've got my nice little Lab Nation scope set up to the laptop here, and this is the new demonstrator panel that I'll be showing you how this new panel works. Now what I've done is I've applied or created a dielectric barrier inside the crystal separator. And so it's like a thin film barrier that will actually shut down the galvanic reaction of the plate itself, and the cell, each individual cell will go into a sleep mode. Now I know that sounds strange, but it's true. But also with that dielectric in there, the plate now has its own built-in capacitor still inside between the plates. So that's what I'm going to demonstrate to you today, and I'm going to show you that right now. What I'm going to do is this plate has been sleeping for maybe 12 hours. So there's an open circuit voltage that you can read on this, but there's really no power. But I'm going to first show you when I touch this to the positive connection here. You're going to see the meter spike, and the prop may, on this little motor, the prop may turn just a little bit, but that's just what's left in the capacitive charge that's within the plate itself, or in the cell itself. So let's go ahead and do that. Now watch this, and here, there. Now you can see that it ran it. Now if I do it again, it runs it. Now watch, I'll just make the connection. And the needle just pretty much goes down close to 0. Maybe I should zoom in on that a little bit, if you can see. It's really, really low. But the cell starts to wake up. Let me get even closer on this so you can see this. Now I've got the connection made here, so it's putting a load on the cell, so the galvanic reaction is going to begin. It's breaking the barrier. It's going through the threshold of the barrier, of the dielectric barrier, and now the galvanic reaction is kicking in, and it's generating power. And this motor draws quite a bit more here than the little double coil pendulum piece back here. This one is pretty neat because it actually draws about 1/3 of the energy that the single cell produces. And so that gives the cell a chance to keep on regenerating power while it's operating this. And again, it's into its third month of operating 24 hours a day. So pretty good cell. But here, let's go back to this. Now you can see that it's up to 100 milliamps right now. So this should, let me back out just a little bit. It'll go higher, but let's just back out of this for a little bit here, and I can just start that. Yeah. You can see that the motor is now drawing about 120 milliamps, and it's spinning much faster. I don't know if you can see this in the camera. Okay, so 1600 RPM. Okay, here's our zero baseline of voltage down here, if you can see that, and I'll drop in some markers on the peaks of where the motor's operating at. 7.96 on the high side, so roughly 8 volts, and down here we'll say 6.09. So from 6 volts to 8 volts, that 2 volt difference, that 2 volt range, well actually it shows 1.87 volts. So that's where the motor is operating from this particular cell. It spikes up to about 250 milliamps, so a quarter of an amp. Not too bad, and that's just that capacitive charge that it has, because it'll pretty much do that every time. Okay, it's got a little capacitive charge stored up in it. Now it'll use that capacitive effect during the operation of whatever load it is that you're running on there, so it has a double purpose. You see how it jumps up? And let's put it back on there. Now after you shut the load off and let that panel rest, it'll reach that threshold and the galvanic reaction will just go into sleep. And like I said, it'll have an open circuit voltage showing on a meter, but there's really no power there until it wakes back up, just like I showed you earlier. Well, that's about it for now, and I was thinking about, in the interim of redoing the cells for the E-Cube, that I may even offer single cells as a product on our website, but I'll have to give that some thought, and I'll see how it goes with changing all these cells over first. So see you soon.